This video will guide you through how to annotate a Word document. So many of you probably already know how to highlight words by clicking on them and selecting a highlighted color, or changing the size or font or underlining, bolding or italicizing the font. But this video is going to show you how to actually annotate like you do a piece of paper by adding comments in the margin. You should note that these annotations might disrupt the page number of the article or handout that you're annotating. So keep that in mind if that's important to you. Remember that annotations are your notes for yourself, and they are notes that identify what you've thought about and how you've reacted to what you're reading. So one of the things that we normally annotate are words that we have come across that we don't know. And so for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm using an article an essay called Misspelling the Word Of by Jason Oda. This is a relatively short essay, but it does contain some words that might be challenging. So as you read the text and you come across words that you don't know, I recommend that you highlight them all in the same color. Once you've identified the words that you need to look up, you can either look them up in an online or paper dictionary, or you can use Word to do it for you. So for example, dubbed. If you right-click on the word, you'll find a synonym, and you can also click Smart Lookup. When you click on Smart Lookup, it explores the internet for the word, but it also gives you the definition, and sometimes more than one definition. So in this case, as a teenager, I dubbed these rules of isms. The meaning here is it's a past tense of the verb dub, and it means to give an unofficial name or nickname to someone or something. So I like that definition, so I'm going to go ahead and highlight it. And you can click Control or Command C, or right click and click copy to get that definition. Now I'm going to come back to the word, and I'm going to move the mouse right after the word and go to Insert, Comment, and you'll see that the comment appears in the right margin. So from here I can paste the definition. I can remind myself that it is a verb. I can add information like past tense. And I can also add one of the synonyms that was here. So called, named, nicknamed, christened. I like nicknamed. So I'll have that there. And you can add as much information about this word as you'd like. And then just click out of it to end that comment. So you can do that for every word that you look up, and notice that it grabbed it in red as well. As you're reading, you may come across passages that you think are important, so you can decide if you want to highlight them. You might play around with what colors represent certain things. You can insert shapes. Mostly I recommend using the colors, changing the font size, adding these comments to keep track of any questions or things that you want, maybe even your reaction. So let's say you read something and you laugh. There's a part in here, where he says, I remember thinking, geez, how dumb is this kid? So maybe you read that and you laughed, or maybe you read that and you had a strong reaction, like that's rude. Whatever it is, you might put like LOL for yourself to remind yourself that that's funny, or, how rude. Whatever your reaction is, you keeping track in the comments will help you remember where you had those reactions and what they were. I've underlined and put the section in red because this is something that as I was reading, if I'm pretending to be a student here, this might be a section that I want to follow up with in class discussion. So I can insert a comment and remind myself to ask what this means in class tomorrow. Okay, and if you've highlighted something, you might have your own key, and annotations are really for you, and so you can decide what, if you know what that key means, you don't even have to write it down somewhere. Maybe yellow means main idea. And so in that case, if you wanted to, you can also add a comment to remind yourself, you know, this looks like the main idea. And you can confirm that maybe during class discussion or group work, depending on what the assignment or text will be used for in class. And so you can do all sorts of things. As I mentioned, you can make it larger if you want. So let's say indoctrination is an important word, or maybe you think it's an important word. So you can make it bigger, you can make it bold, you can change the font color, choose purple. You can also, you know, maybe you need to look it up as well. So you want to keep it that same color as your vocabulary words. You can add, you know, like I mentioned before, symbols. You can draw on it. So you can, if you have a trackpad, you can turn this on and draw with your finger on your trackpad. You can, if not, you can click one of these pens. I'm not the best at this, but let's say, you know, if this is your preference, you can do that. So maybe you want to highlight it. You can change the color. And again, I'm not really reading this. It's just to demonstrate what this is, but maybe you just want to highlight that section. Or you can use it to draw a symbol. So again, annotations are personal. However you would do it normally by pen and paper, you can do it, you can recreate it electronically here. So when we're annotating electronic texts, I don't want you to feel limited by the electronic version. Feel free to do the same thing that you would do if it were a sheet of paper. So maybe you're, you know, circling something, or maybe you're putting a star next to something that's important, or you can write out your reactions with this pen as well. And see, I told you I wasn't good at this, but if you have neater handwriting, you can go for it. And there's all these different pen sizes, shapes, colors. You can add different highlighters, pens, or pencils. You can erase. So let's say I didn't like this. I can just erase it. If I want the circle gone or that gone, you can erase all of them. Let's say I erased it and I was like, oops, I didn't want to erase that one. I can unclick the eraser and click Control Z or Command Z, and I can bring all of those back with each time I click it. Okay. The same is true for these comments. Let's say you made a comment like here. First you thought it was how rude, but then maybe later you decided it is funny. This is funny. Or vice versa, if you read it and you thought it was funny at first, but then after discussing it, you find out it's actually rude and not funny. You can change your comment, or you can delete it. So if you right click on it, you can delete comment. Now let's say you are sharing your annotations with someone else. They can reply. So someone can reply to your comment. In this case, my name is appearing as both, but if I were someone else, a different name would appear here. And so I'm, you know, if I'm your peer and I see ask what this means in class tomorrow, someone can respond, you know, it means ... you know, whatever they want to share with you. And you can also change the color and I don't think you can change the size, but you can change the font color of your comments as well. Under home, maybe you want questions to be in red, and let's see, can I make it bigger? No, it does. The size doesn't change, but at least the color can change. So it would bring some attention to it. And let me just double check with this. If Yeah, no, the size doesn't change, unfortunately. I think because of the margin, it has its limits of size, but you knowing that you can change the colors, I think is helpful. So the automatic is like a light black, like almost like a dark gray, but you can change it to any color that you want. So maybe definitions, can bold them, can italicize them. So all of this still works, just the size doesn't work. I think, let's see if you can change. Oh, you can change the font too. So I guess you just can't change the size, which is too bad. Um, but I think again, that's more of a limitation of the size of the margin than anything else. And so all of this, between being able to change all of these different features should allow you to feel comfortable with keeping track of your thoughts and reactions while reading. And that's really what annotating is all about. Have fun.